All right, getting ready for dog food. So, welcome everyone. I am Jen, the lady from the 80s. I am your crazy bougie aunt sharing my over 50 fabulous lifestyle with you. And today I thought I'd do a really fun one, which is I make my own dog food. So, part of my crazy bougie lifestyle is being a very very serious dog mom. So these are my babies. Hope is in the back. Harry is in the front with the bow tie, and Luna is on the side with the bigger ears. So they're my babies. Um, about a year ago, they were eating kibble. I have to be careful because Harry is extremely small. He's under 5 pounds, and I've never had a dog that small before. They were all rescues, and when I got him, I honestly didn't know that he wasn't going to grow. So there's that. So I always had to do small. There was only one kibble I could find that was small enough, and he wasn't really eating very well. My other dogs were overweight. So I was searching for something, and I accidentally purchased this, which is Just Food for Dogs. I honestly thought it was something else, and it came and it was this little package, and I was like, what did I do? And so I sat it down and started looking for something else. And then I thought, oh, what the heck? I already have this. I should try it. Well, a year later, I have been consistently doing it, making it for my dogs. Um, Nobody is overweight. Nobody struggles to eat. They all enjoy their food. They all eat it immediately. Also, if I am late, they are telling me that I am late and they want their food. So, over the year of doing it, I have evolved quite a bit in how I do it. And I thought I have a video for you of my process, but I thought I would share some key tips. When I first started, I was making it in the Instapot because I thought that was going to be easier, and you just throw everything in the Instapot. And I think that it is easier, but it takes longer, and I just feel like it doesn't seem as fresh. So I don't know what to say about that. But so I'm going to go through what I've learned and what I do, and let me get that picture gone. Okay, so let's start here. These are the ingredients. So this is the chicken formula. There are multiple formulas that you can do. Every recipe is different. Um, this one has rice, carrots, apples, spinach, ground chicken, and chicken livers. It's supposed to also have chicken gizzards, but I have not been able to find the chicken gizzards. So I am able to find the livers at Whole Foods. When I called them about finding the gizzards, they said rather than trying to substitute, it's best just to leave that ingredient out. So that was what I've done, and it has worked for us. By far, the slightly gross part of this whole thing is dealing with the chicken livers, but you just kind of get over it. And and it's fine after a while. You know how it is. You just kind of suck it up and do it. So let me share. So I am doing Just Food for Dogs, the chicken version, and then I want to share with you the steps. Now, I do a double batch. So to give you an example, I get 8 pounds of ground chicken. First tip, if you have an Aldi, they have high quality ground chicken for much less than I found it anywhere else. So, so I'd say that's the first one. The second thing is I do the rice totally separate from everything else, and I use my Anyday microwave cooker. This is the large one because it is the one that you use to make rice. I also make mashed potatoes in it. These microwave cookware, I'll do a whole separate thing on them, but I highly recommend. I'm a very passionate home cook, so what I do is I start with the rice and I use the Any Day. You put 3 cups of rice, 4 cups of water. You put it on at. You have to put your microwave at 40%, and then it takes about 26 minutes. So since that takes so long, I start with the rice and get that going, and then I move on to the other things. The other lesson that I've learned here, you can see that I have my Caraway nonstick um, large pan. I have 2 large pans for each batch, and I make sure I have a lid. The lid really, really helps you to get everything cooked because you put the lid on there and then it steams and it releases liquid, and I do not throw any of that liquid away. I'll show you that later. I let it kind of marry with the rice so we don't lose any of the nutrients. So here I start by throwing all of 4 pounds of ground chicken in each of the pots, and I get them started. I start with the meats, and I'll also put the chicken livers in there. I'm not going to show you me cutting them up because it's a little gory, but you can see me putting them in there. This is the other thing. I'm going to stop here because if you do not have one of these tools that helps you chop up meat, this is what it looks like. And you do this motion and you just do and turn, and you'll see me doing it. I use it the entire time. I use this anytime I'm doing spaghetti sauce, chili, anything where I have ground beef, ground turkey, ground pork, anything to chop it up. So you'll see me using that for the entire time. So I'm going to just keep doing that and um, adding, first of all, just the meats. We already did this. I'm going to fast forward. Okay, so you may have heard of this chopper. This is a lifesaver for me. I use it all the time for many, many things, but I chop up all the apples in here before I put them in. So then I'm going to add the things that take a little bit longer. On top of the meat, I add the carrots and I get them pre-shredded, so they're already chopped up. I add the apples and I just split half of them between each of the pans. And then I stir it up and keep letting them go. Again, I'm going to keep reminding you, you need to put the lids on the pot because you want all of this to cook together and marry together. Now, I can also tell you that as I am making these, my dogs are right there, happy to help, taste, or do anything. Okay, so once the meat is pretty much cooked, almost all the way through, I put a bag of the spinach, and I get the smallest spinach I can find, and I put it on top of each one. And you guessed it, I'm going to put the lid back on, probably leave it there for a few minutes, let it start to steam, and then I go in there again with my tool, and I'm constantly breaking it up because in the end, you want the dog food to be all broken up into little pieces so that it's easier for them to eat, especially for my little guy, Harry. So I would say to this point, you know what? It takes about a half an hour because um, the rice is still cooking. So the rice takes about 26, 27 minutes. So the rice is still cooking. So this whole part probably takes about 26 minutes. Um, Okay, this is my rice coming out perfectly cooked from my Any Day. And I also have 2 sheet pans prepared. This is just for me for ease of organizing cooking. It also, I have found, makes the least mess of the kitchen. So I will dump the rice out. You can see it's pretty hot there, and you want to start getting everything to cool. So I'll let the rice cool, and then I'll make another batch because I need 2 batches. So I need 3 cups, 3 cups. I'm going to go back a little bit. That was the, okay, I'm going to let this go. I showed you a brief view of the pan and what it looks like after I have, uh, it's cooked and it's ready to go. So once that's done, I just turn the burners off and leave the lid on. You can see what it looks like. Looks like human food because it is human food, super high quality, of course. And then I just, one rice is done, the other one is not. So I'm going to dump each pan on each pan of dog food that's completed on top of a pan. So that one's going to go on top of the rice. The other one's going to go in the other pan. Then when I'm done with the rice, I will put it on the top. I do leave all of the liquid in there because I feel like there's nutrients, and I also feel like I let it cool for just under an hour. And as it does, I feel like the rice just sucks up um, all of that really good broth for them. So this is what it looks like when it's laid out on the pan. And you have to let it cool. So here's the other pan of rice. So once all of this is done, again, you're going to let it cool. You want it to be cool to the touch. You're going to let it cool for about an hour. And then you're going to start with your nutrients. So you'll see me do that here in a second, but with the powder, I'll have to look at several tablespoons. I've gotten to the point where I know what it looks like, so I just shake it over. So I'm going to shake that over, and you'll measure it your first few times so you know. This just has tons of nutrients in it. Then I also get this omega oil, and it again takes a couple tablespoons. It's not very much, and I squirt it all over. And then back to the tool. So I'm going to then mix it together again using this and not trying to do a traditional method of stirring. Gets things mixed up without the mess, but also it gets everything so that it's into more bite-sized pieces. So again, I'm going to keep talking about this because I love it. So that is really the process. Once you mix that all up, I have tried multiple ways of storing and freezing it, but the easiest by far is gallon size Ziploc bags. I measure out, my dogs eat between the three of them 3 cups a day. Here they are, ready to help and test um, and help clean the pan. I um, so I put about 12 cups in a bag. I keep one out for now, and then I freeze the rest. Just put them in the freezer. And when I'm ready to use them, you have to be careful about thawing them. You can thaw them in the fridge, but that takes forever. So I put cold water in a large pan, a large bowl, and then you float the dog food in there, and it will thaw out. Oh, in a couple hours. And if you really need it to go fast, I get in and then like keep shaking it about and breaking it up, and it'll thaw quicker. That is one of the most inconvenient parts. It's just like any time other time that you run out of dog food and you're like, oh, I need to go get dog food. If I forget to thaw it out, um, whoa. Um, Something that I found about it is though. Um, that I also keep like a Kong toy filled with uh, pumpkin and dog food frozen. I use those like if I have a meeting and I need them to be really quiet or something, but I keep them also in case because they can eat those frozen. So that's just another trick that I do. So this is my full process for making the dog food. It is very much worth it. Um, it also gives you quite a bit of joy to see how much they love eating the food, and they're just more healthy. Like I said, my older dog Hope, bring her back up in the back, was overweight. People were commenting on it, and and my vet finally was like, "You've got to do something." And I'm telling you, in like 2 months, she is at a super healthy weight. So that is how I make dog food. Uh, let me. I think that's all I've got. If I hope that you'll try it. It is worth it. You do have to get into a rhythm. You have to figure out how to do it for yourself. You may not need to make two batches like I do. I do have three dogs, so I do have to make the three batches. But it to me, it's like this. If I have to go to the store and get dog food, it's probably going to take me an hour anyway. This is so much worth it. It's probably overall going to take you 2 hours when you get into cleanup and all of that. But 2 hours every 2 weeks to me is totally worth it. So I hope you'll at least give it a try. And I highly recommend Just Food for Dogs. It has let me make my dogs food and have peace of mind that I know that the recipe is something that veterinary nutritionists have looked at and that I also have this nutrient pack. So hope you'll try it. Have a great day.